What's up, guys? I'm back with another video today, and this one's going to be on Psalms 1, and it's going to be a breakdown verse by verse with a little bit more explanation as well. So, Psalms 1 represents two paths, the way of the righteous and the way of the wicked. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Walketh is seen as representing a casual or initial exposure to sin or negative influence, and standeth represents a progression where the behavior becomes more habitual or settled. Sitteth symbolizes the final stage where the individual has fully embraced the negative path, making it part of their core identity or sense of belonging. So walketh is it's considered casual influence. Standeth is settled behavior, and sitteth is identity and belonging. Ungodly is rejecting God's authority. Sinners practice sin, and scornful is mocking the righteous, it's to mock righteousness. So, ungodly people are those who lack reverence for God, live without regard for his commandments, and actively disregard his authority and claims to obedience. They are essentially living as if God does not exist or does not matter. So, sinners, again, are the ones who practice sin. This is also accurate. While all people sin, the term sinners in this context often refers to those who are open, deliberately sinning, and persistent in their wrongdoing, making sin their constant business and employment. They have settled into a lifestyle of disobedience to God's commands. Scornful, again, is to mock righteousness. This is correct. The scornful of mockers represent the final, most hardened stage in the progression. They not only sin, but openly ridicule, scoff at, and express contempt for God and His Word and those who seek to live righteously. Their attitude is one of pride and arrogance, rejecting all correction and wisdom. Psalm chapter 1, verse 2. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Delight means desire, joy, affection, or great pleasure. God's law isn't a burden, it's nourishment. Meditate means to think deeply and repeatedly. So this isn't about reading for information, it's about internalizing the truth on the inside. In other words, he does not follow the world's advice, but takes pleasure in obeying God and his word. So, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. And so this is Psalm chapter 1, verse 3. The breakdown, this is a picture of stability in life. Tree is rooted, not drifting. Planted is intentional placement by God. Rivers are constant supply, not drought-based faith. Fruit in season, growth takes time, and leaf not wither, endurance in hardships. Prosper here does not mean constant wealth. It means spiritual success, God's favor, sorry about that, and lasting impact. The righteous thrive even in dry seasons. Psalm chapter 1, verse 4. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. This breakdown is chaff is weightless waste from grain. It has no root, no value, no endurance. Wind controls its direction. This is the opposite of the tree. The ungodly may look successful briefly, but they lack substance and permanence. So, Psalm chapter 1, verse 5. Therefore, the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. Breakdown: not stand equals cannot endure God's judgment. Separation is inevitable. Moral alignment now determines destiny later. So, again, it's not about popularity or religion, it's about standing before God. Psalm chapter 1, verse 6. For the Lord knoweth the ways of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. The breakdown: knoweth means intimate relational knowledge at the end of the day. Again, it means intimate relational knowledge. So when God says he knows you or you know God, it's about having a personal relationship, not just knowing his word and not applying it to your life. God is actively aware of the righteous path. The ungodly path ends in destruction. God doesn't just observe your path, he endorses one and opposes the other. So the core message of Psalm 1 is everyone is on a path, whether you're a sinner or a forgiven sinner. Again, we all sin. Influence shapes destiny, and roots determine fruit. Stability comes from God's word. Judgment is real, and God sees the difference. But see, when we go back to the first point, everyone is on a path. This doesn't mean perfection. It means active obedience at the end of the day, because we're all sinners at the end of the day, but some of us are forgiven sinners, and the other side of us don't care if we're forgiven or not, and that ultimately leads us to separation from God. So a one sentence summary of this is Psalm 1 teaches that a life rooted in God's word leads to stability, fruitfulness, and blessing, while a life shaped by ungodly influence leads to emptiness and destruction. So that's all of chapter 1 right there in Psalm. It was 6 verses. I hope you got something from that, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless.